Why is vulnerability management crucial in today's digital world? Let's delve into this. The digital landscape is like a vast ocean, teeming with opportunities but also rife with threats. Cyber threats are growing exponentially, making it imperative to fortify our defenses. This is where vulnerability management steps in. Think of vulnerability management as a robust shield, protecting your digital assets from a barrage of cyber attacks. It identifies, analyzes, prioritizes, treats, and reviews vulnerabilities, providing a comprehensive security blanket. However, ignoring vulnerability management is akin to leaving your house door wide open. You're inviting trouble. The consequences can be dire: loss of sensitive data, financial damage, and a tarnished reputation. In fact, lack of effective vulnerability management can even lead to the collapse of businesses. We're living in an era where cyber threats are not just probable, but inevitable. So it's not about if you will be attacked, but when. Remember, strong vulnerability management is the first line of defense against cyber attacks. Now, let's dive into the vulnerability management life cycle. This essential cycle consists of 5 interconnected stages that ensure a robust and comprehensive approach to cybersecurity. Firstly, identification. This stage involves detecting potential vulnerabilities in your systems. Think of it as a detective meticulously combing through a crime scene, searching for any clues. Next, we have analysis. This is where we examine the identified vulnerabilities, assessing their potential impact and severity. It's akin to a doctor diagnosing an illness based on symptoms. Then comes prioritization. Not all vulnerabilities pose the same level of threat. Prioritizing them based on their potential damage and exploitation likelihood is crucial. The 4th stage is treatment. Here, we take action. This could mean patching up the vulnerability, implementing a workaround, or even accepting the risk if it's low enough. Finally, we have the review stage. Like a gardener routinely checking on their plants, we must regularly review and update our vulnerability management strategies to ensure they remain effective. Understanding these stages is key to effective vulnerability management. The first step in the vulnerability management lifecycle is identification. This stage is crucial as it uncovers the hidden weak spots within your systems. Identification involves an array of strategies, from the use of automated tools to manual techniques. Automated tools, such as vulnerability scanners, sweep through your systems like a digital comb, picking up potential flaws. Manual techniques, on the other hand, involve expert analysis of system configurations, code reviews, and architecture. It's like having a security detective meticulously searching for clues within your digital landscape. But remember, the digital world is not static. New vulnerabilities spring up as technology evolves, hence the need for continuous monitoring. Imagine it as a gardener constantly checking for weeds in a garden. In the same way, you must continually watch out for new system vulnerabilities that could compromise your cybersecurity. Without proper identification, vulnerabilities remain hidden threats. Thus, identification is the cornerstone of effective vulnerability management. After identification comes the analysis stage. This is where we delve into the details of each vulnerability. It's not enough to simply know what vulnerabilities exist. We must also understand their potential impact. We ask questions like, what would happen if this vulnerability were exploited? The answers to these questions allow us to gauge the potential damage that could be inflicted on our systems or data. This could range from minor disruptions to catastrophic data breaches. Next, we consider the probability of exploitation. Not all vulnerabilities are equally likely to be exploited. Some may require complex and unlikely conditions to be met, while others could be exploited with relative ease. We also take into account the potential attacker. What are their capabilities, resources, and motivations? This helps us to anticipate what vulnerabilities they might target. The goal of the analysis stage is to provide a comprehensive understanding of each vulnerability, its potential impact, likelihood of exploitation, and the potential attacker's profile. Detailed analysis helps in understanding the severity and potential impact of each vulnerability. The 3rd step is prioritization. Now that we've identified and analyzed the vulnerabilities, it's time to decide which ones to tackle first. This is where prioritization comes into play. Think of prioritization as a triage in a hospital. We can't attend to all patients at once, so we focus on the ones with the most severe conditions first. Similarly, in vulnerability management, we prioritize based on two main factors: the severity of the vulnerability and the criticality of the affected systems. The severity of a vulnerability is based on how much potential damage it can cause if exploited. This can be quantified using various scoring systems, such as the Common Vulnerability Scoring System. On the other hand, the criticality of the affected systems is determined by how essential they are to the organization. A vulnerability in a mission-critical system should naturally take precedence over one in a less critical system. By prioritizing vulnerabilities, we ensure efficient resource allocation. We make sure that the most dangerous threats are addressed first, thus maximizing the effectiveness of our vulnerability management efforts. Prioritizing vulnerabilities ensures that the most dangerous threats are addressed first. Next comes the treatment stage. At this point in the vulnerability management lifecycle, we've identified our vulnerabilities, analyzed their potential impacts, and prioritized them according to their level of risk. Now, it's time to address these vulnerabilities, and there are several ways to do this. One method is patching. This involves applying updates or fixes to the system to eliminate the vulnerability. It's like applying a bandage to a wound. It stops the bleeding and allows healing to occur. Another approach is implementing workarounds. These are temporary solutions that can help protect against a vulnerability while a long-term solution is being developed. Think of it as a makeshift patch until the real one is ready. Sometimes, however, the cost of treatment might outweigh the potential damage. In such scenarios, accepting the risk might be the most practical approach. Remember, the key here is timely treatment. Timely treatment of vulnerabilities can mean the difference between a minor incident and a major breach. The final step in the vulnerability management lifecycle is review. Now you might be thinking, we've identified, analyzed, prioritized, and treated the vulnerabilities. Surely we're done. Not quite, my friends. Review is an essential stage that cannot be overlooked. It's the checkpoint where we assess the effectiveness of our treatments and take stock of our cybersecurity health. Are the treatments working as expected? Have they mitigated the risks adequately? These are just some of the questions we need to answer during the review process. And remember, vulnerability management isn't a one-time task that you can check off your list. It's an ongoing process, a cycle that keeps turning, mirroring the ever-evolving landscape of cybersecurity threats. Regular monitoring is a must. It allows us to catch new vulnerabilities that may crop up and reassess our strategies. This way, we continue to strengthen our defenses, always staying one step ahead. Regular reviews ensure that your vulnerability management strategy remains effective in the face of evolving threats.